Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Helen Noble, celebrant of Surrey and founder of Swansong. And this week it's coronation week here in the UK and King Charles III has been coronated. So I am in red, white and blue. My child has been doing my nails. Oops, they're red, white and blue going there. So, not my normal look, but it'll do for now. So we are on bank holiday weekend. So thank you for joining, and I am here to give you insight, demystify, tips, useful information, general info on all things ceremonial. This week, with the coronation in mind, I'm talking about service. Who is it you serve? Is it yourself? Is it your marriage? What does service mean to you? So, service, what does it mean and who is it you are serving? It's actually a really easy question to ask. Like, who are you serving? Blah, blah, blah. Who is it you're trying to please? But it's actually a really quite hard thing to answer, and it's a really hard thing to answer properly. Because, you think you're in a relationship, really serious, in enough that they've said, will you spend the rest of your life with me? And you've said yes. So it's a really serious relationship in the fact that you are promising, for as long as we both shall live, to be with that person. But actually working out who you're serving is a really big question. And it's one I want you to actually take more than 20 seconds to think about and talk about it with each other. Be like, do you know what? Actually, if this marriage is serving us as a couple, brilliant. Is it serving you as a wider community? Do you want to get married in front of friends and family? Because actually, community is really important and you want it to serve. You want to make a social statement. We are being part of this institution of marriage because we agree with it on a social level. Like, society is built upon these structures, and therefore we're buying into that, and we agree to play the role of what society sees marriage to be. So actually, are you serving more than yourself? Are you serving the community? Are you serving society? Are you serving what marriage seems to be within that society? I keep catching my coronation nails. They were painted by a 5-year-old, so I know they're not particularly good. But unfortunately, she picked up my Chanel. So the red one's very posh. It's Chanel paper. Anyway, Chanel paint. Anyway, I digress. So who is it you're serving? I know there is definitely a fashion, a trend, a focus on making sure that you're not pouring from an empty cup, making sure that you serve yourself so that you can serve others, i.e. gas masks on for the mums and then sort out the kids. But realistically, if you're a mum, you just sort out the kids first and then you put your gas mask on. But does it genuinely have to get drilled into us that you have to serve yourself first? And I do think it does. But I do think it needs to be taken with a pinch of salt, a pinch of maturity, a bit of hindsight maybe, where you haven't served yourself and you've realised that actually that's where it got messy because you weren't sleeping properly or you weren't eating properly or you were hanging around with the wrong people. You weren't putting your soul and yourself first, and therefore it all started to unravel. And when you're wedding planning, that's so easy to do. You people please, you go for duty, you don't want to rock the boat, you don't want to make sure that that person says this and this person says that. Sorry, the light's a bit bad in here. Sorry about that. So yes, if it is with hindsight where you haven't served yourself because it just feels naturally wrong, you want to look out for everybody around you, you want to keep your family happy, you don't want to rock the boat with your in-laws, or maybe you've got a slightly precious sister. Oh, now the cat's joining. A slightly precious sister or anything like that. But did it work? As tempting as it is to go, yes, sure, no problem, of course I can do that for you. When you haven't served yourself, there's the cat. When you haven't served yourself, was it actually worth it? Was it actually worth it? Should you have sorted yourself out first, worked out what was right for you, and then tried to people please, or at least armed yourself with what you knew to be true? And you can say, thanks so much for that. That's really helpful. But actually, I've had a think, and I'm going to go for this. So thanks. And if they feel that you've genuinely thought about it, they'll be like, oh, okay, no problem. Hopefully, that's the dream. But if they still think you're just fobbing them off, and you're like, oh yeah, thanks, they know you haven't taken it seriously, so they will keep going. So my advice to you is, under the kind of theme of coronation and service, is yes, I totally understand the whole serve yourself first. You can't pour from an empty cup, put the gas mask on, blah, blah, blah. That as an actual way of life, it's really hard to do that. And when you're wedding planning, it's even more tricky to do that, because you just want to keep everyone happy and you don't want to rock the boat. But I promise you, and this is hindsight, bless you. The cat's allergic to herself. The cat has allergies to herself. But I promise you, oh no, stop it, that if you do take a moment to genuinely think, what is it I want? What is it that I need? Who am I serving? I'm serving the union of marriage. So that's me and my other half. Not that you're half and half. Me and my partner. You're serving marriage, and therefore not everyone else around you. So does it serve your marriage? And if you take a moment to really think about that and what works for that marriage, you can give a really strong answer. And people hear it and they go, all right, fair enough. That's the hope anyway. And if they don't, just get rid. I know that's easy. That's a whole other thing. But I guess for today, under the coronation, so hence why I'm dressed like a child. My daughter dressed me in red, white and blue. I've got red shoes on and red toenails and multicoloured fingernails. Who do you serve? And if you're getting married, you serve the union of marriage. And what does marriage mean to you? And when you think about that, it empowers you and gives you kudos to your answer. So it gives you a moment to take a breath and go, no, do you know what? I'm proper grown up now. Like, this is adulting. I'm getting married. So what does marriage mean to you? How does it serve the union of marriage? And when you take that into account, all the helpful hints and the pulling in multiple directions, if you've really thought about it, they will hear it in your voice and they will recognise that you've taken a moment. And the hope is they let you do your thing and put your mask on and they'll step away. So happy Coronation Day, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.